I believe one of the things that make me great at what I do is because, look, like I went through 10 years of child abuse, 10 years of drug addiction, 20 years of fucking depression.
Yeah.
And then attempted suicide. And then I walked out alive. Baby, we're back.
Wow.
Impactpreneurs.
That's good.
Today is fucking part 2.
I love it.
Of a continuance of an amazing part 1 we had. It's been what, a month?
Yeah, I think so.
That's a pretty fast turnaround for part 2.
Yeah,
but
it was so good.
Yeah, it was so good that we've been very excited to just. You know what? The second you called it out at the very end of that episode, when you were like, "Hey, we're going to get an agreement right here that we're coming back and we're doing this again when everybody's in Vegas
verbally
at the same
binding.
time."
Yes.
And the moment you did that, like I never let that go. And then as soon as he said, "Hey, I'm actually coming out in December," I was like, "Let's set it up.
Yeah.
Let's get it going."
I love it.
And then lo and behold, inside of a week, as soon as you drop that episode, everyone's just been like, "What the fuck? Like, what is this? What are these secrets you guys are holding back?"
Yeah.
And John, I know I asked you a little bit before, but tell a little bit more if you've gotten any other additional feedback. Like, what have you gotten? What have you heard?
Man, I've just gotten so many, I don't get that many DMs about episodes. Once in a while, if I have someone famous on, oh, you had Bob Saget, you had this, whatever, But for the most part, I don't get too many people, with individual feedback blowing me. I got blown up over this. Yeah. Just people found it so motivating, and like we touched on. When did we touch on it? On another show, on your show?
Yeah, you came on our show.
Yeah, that you guys have each, in your own right, been through war. Well, some of you literally war, right? The war on the streets, and me like kind of internal war, and guess all of us kind of internal war, and how you deal with that and bounce back and pick yourself up. It's all about picking yourself up, right?
Every time.
Man. Yeah. So I think people just really connected with that and your story. We've talked, all of you really, you've all got, it's like I said to you on your show last week, you came out okay. You've seen some shit and you're like, I'm a little fucked up.
and that's the thing. We're all fucked up. Right.
The first step is admitting you're fucked up.
Right.
The second step is how do you deal with it? How do you operate in this environment?
Yeah.
It's kind of like chess. It's not checkers, motherfucker. It's chess. Remember that?
The third step is how do you use it to your advantage?
Exactly.
Like the whole thing is like what you tried to kill me with is all energy.
Yeah, man. Like how do you use your dark side to your advantage? I mean, like don't fucking run away from it. Go fucking tackle that shit every day, and then become one with it, and then use that in your business.
Yeah,
that's
that
it's fucking
Phoenix
lights
moment.
out for everybody else.
Yeah,
because to some extent, everybody says you're not competing against other people. You're competing against yourself. Yeah, you're right. But you're also competing against other people, too, in your same line of business. Sure, we all want to win together.
Right.
But at the end of the day, the consumer is looking at A or B, and why do I like which one more? And who leads better from the front, and who's got a better product, who's got a better service. So at the end of the day, you kind of are.
Yeah.
And it's like, who's delivering more and who's delivering the truth.
Yeah.
And who's showing the real side.
You know what I found was challenging is once I got past that, how do I deal with it? Like when I got out, it was you were either giving orders or taking orders.
Mm-hmm.
Your life was simple. And then I had to deal with young adults talking back or getting out of line. And then I see kids disrespecting old people, cutting in line, stuff like that. And once I got past that, and then it was corporate America. But the hardest part was because I could walk away. I was like, I don't need to deal with your fucking shit. I can leave. Or I quit the job, start my own business. Dealing with a relationship where it's harder to walk away, you got some time invested, or you're emotionally connected. Yeah. How do you deal with a relationship when you try to go with your own guidelines, right? Your moral and ethic values, and you say, okay, this is how a man should be, and I came from combat, I did this, and I'm a leader, and I'm a good man, and you have to deal with someone that doesn't respect that, or they don't understand because the way they were raised was, no man's gonna tell me what to do, blah, 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 and you have these interactions. That's the hard part. Till to this day, it's hard to deal with an individual that doesn't get it. Are you with me?
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Well, again, that's where like
Byron, look at him. Go, Byron.
Go. And I'm gonna let you go in a second, but that's where it goes. That's what it comes down to. Where some of the new generational people, they almost want to pretend like traditional values don't exist. Following the leader in the household doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, listen, at the end of the day, the king builds the empire and the queen protects the king. And guess what? When you play that right, you're right by the king's side. It's not like
100%.
king's in front, queen's behind, follow me. Like they got you right by their side, and we're fucking taking on war together.
Yeah.
And they kind of, I don't know what it is that the shit that they're preaching these days, and just what's happened in the last 10 years as far as moral ethics, but really the last 10 years I've seen things just kind of flip, where morals and values and being out of line or not whatnot is just it's non-existent.
Nothing's sacred anymore. Like respect is like a really rare commodity, which guys that pay respect, it gives us a huge advantage. But like, with that structure you're talking about, the way that I always enter it in conversation is, different in function, equal in glory. Like, oh, I'm all about like equal rights and equal this, equal that. But like, no. The task dictates who's right for that task.
Correct.
Like women and men both have strengths, but like the task tells you who should be the one doing the task in a lot of different cases. But with what you're saying about relationships, it's always been something that I approach with lots of trepidation and respect, a little healthy fear, because that person's developmental, like the speed at which they can develop is going to impact my overall freaking accumulative score in life. And so like, it's like, I'm like 18 Byrons different, evolved from since the beginning of this year already. So
from
like
this year.
From this year. So it's like you have to choose someone who's on that same path. And I'd say the most important value has got to be like personal progress, because like you'll find yourself in this position where you're like a freaking eagle trying to take off, and the other person is like pecking around, like doing pigeon stuff, and that is a gigantic friction point. Like when we were talking about on the last one, man, getting those values to align is so important. But then the long-term value has to be that they are willing to be dedicated to progress.
You got to be willing. You and your partner have to be singing the same song from the start to the finish, and at the same simultaneously, as you said, working on your personal development. Each to their own right. What I need to work on, what you need to work on. I'm going to work on making my strength stronger, but I'm also going to go down the hard route, and I'm going to work on my weaknesses too, because it's easy to work on my strengths.
Well,
I'm a bitch if I want to avoid my weaknesses and not work on my weaknesses, because if I work on my weaknesses, that only helps me evolve and become a better man and a stronger person, where I have a lot less or smaller weak points that don't expose me into whatever I need
to grow at. But then the other thing too, I dropped some heat on the stories yesterday, because a couple of my boys were talking to me about this, and I was just kind of like, in one of my psychology classes, my teacher was like, what do you guys think is the reason that people fall in and out of love? And I was just like, performance. And of course, I'm in a psychology class, so it's all females, and everyone's looking at me and they're just like,
oh yeah, listen to that.
They hated me. They were just like, this freaking guy, like everyone hated me, but I was like, performance. How did you attract your mate? Like, how did you start the relationship? You were performing like a mother. You were, where do you want to go to eat? I love this. You were agreeable. You were respectful. Like, that was your representative. How'd you get your job? Performance. And then what happens?
Time goes on, you get comfortable.
You start
Complacent.
phoning it in, and you're looking in the mirror, and you become a dependopotamus, and it's like, and then you see these people get divorced or they break up, male and female, and all of a sudden they're doing fitness competitions, and they're running around, and it's like, if you would have done that when you're in your relationship, maybe you would still be in a relationship if you were seeking your skin to know yourself.
And you know what's
and
funny?
it's a two-way street, men and women.
Oh yeah,
it is.
Right?
But you know what's funny, as you're saying that is they're blaming the other person, and that's why they're like all of a sudden going to these fitness competitions or wanting to now give themselves more attention.
Find myself now. Like, you should have found yourself. Like, should have came
motherfucker, you should have came to your partner and been like, I need to redefine myself. Help me get there.
Me. Yeah,
like, why the fuck
back.
are you? And then but you're gonna rebel.
Yeah.
And once you step out of your relationship, you're gonna try to sound all high and mighty. And here's the thing.
Like the other person was holding you back. Like they were like they had a gun to your head.
This shit, I know you guys are gonna appreciate this. This stuff fucking blows my mind. When one person is a certain way, lives by a certain moral conduct, performs a certain way, acts a certain way, speaks a certain way, right? And then like something drastic happens in their life, for example, maybe separating in a relationship. And then all of a sudden, they rebel against family, they rebel against their morals, they rebel from, their previous relationship, and they start doing all this wacky shit that's completely out of character.
Right.
Right? And then they want to pretend like I got it all figured out. I've worked on myself. And it's only been like 2 months.
They're just warming up. Yeah.
And then they try to pretend like I've got all my shit together. I'm living my best life. Positive vibe. I fucking hate that. Positive vibes.
Living my best
fuck
life.
Off.
Yeah.
Because it's just so pretentious.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to say positive vibes. But anyway, it's not getting carried away. And then they start attracting these new people that they would never associate with before. So now they're putting on an act.
Right.
And they're not just in person, but on social media. And it's like, motherfucker, do you think that all the fucking people that you were friends with, that have seen you, that know who you are, that they don't see this?
Yeah.
You think you might be fooling these new people that know nothing about your life from 3 months ago and beyond. But the people that know you, that's pretty fucking embarrassing. Like, who are you trying to fool? Like, we know who you are. This is not character. This is completely out of your moral conduct. And if you're doing this just to please yourself for external validations and appeals, and then people that don't matter, well, what happens when shit hits the fan?
Well,
and because you turned off the people that are like, dude, I don't know this person anymore, and I don't want to know this person anymore.
Yeah, and it may even be the things they've always wanted to do, while they're in the relationship. But the thing that I think the reason that when I see that I kind of feel bad for those people is because, this world has a crazy system of checks and balances, man. Like you go running out there thinking that like all the people that maybe we're trying to protect. And now there are some cases where like there's an abusive relationship with somebody who's like literally literally treating you like a slave. Like we're not talking about the extreme, like that conversation. I'm talking about usually when there's that separation and you see these big changes and all of a sudden everyone's getting their stuff together, talking about finding themselves and all that stuff, like the other person was holding back. Like maybe you always wanted to do these things, and maybe there was something there, but like this reality will reciprocate back to you contribution that's in reciprocation that's in direct contribution to your that's directly in line with your contribution. So you can pretend all you want, like that pride comes before a fall thing. Pride is inaccurate confidence. Like even when humans sense or hear pride, you instantly want to be like, I just want to show that guy he's not as hard as he thinks he is. But we don't. But like this reality, I always say just watch those people, give them a year, and they get crushed.
Well, here's the thing.
It's not real.
It's the law of reciprocity.
That's what it is.
And the law of reciprocity will break you in half if you try to pretend to be something you're not.
Yeah, if it's built on sand, it's not going to last, bro.
If it's cement, it's it's funny that you said that because that's actually on my new website. If it's built from sand, it's going to fall apart. If it's made out of cement, it becomes permanent.
Yep.
But the law of reciprocity is something I've always studied and I followed because that used to be me a long time ago when I was a fucking piece of shit addict and a drug dealer. Like I knew that one day my karmic debt is going to fucking come after me and fucking put me on the floor. Yeah. And that was the multiple suicidal attempts that I went and I was like, okay, there's my awakening. It's time to make a change. Go ahead.
Do you find that one of the things I find to be kind of, I used to find it to be kind of troubling about reality is that so many people seem to be existing from that space of not believing in themselves and having all these kind of insecurities and things. And I have a lot of real compassion for them because it's the human struggle. Yeah. But then when they see someone like you or me or any of us, they're like, oh, that's arrogance. And I'm like, I know it's rare. Right. I know it's rare. But I got here because I have a relationship with myself. This is confidence that comes from this is confidence that comes from experience.
Is there a fine line?
You know what I mean? Oh,
yes. Confidence and arrogance?
There's a very thin line.
It's very thin.
You have to be scared. I'm scared of arrogance. I check myself all the time.
There's a thin line between, it's more supreme confidence. Forget confidence.
My man. So good.
My man. I was going to say something else. The movie.
No, but that's what it is. It's supreme confidence and arrogance, and there's a fine line, and you have to know when and where to stay in place. Yeah. What is that?
It's someone's vibrating.
Someone is. But anyway, that's a fine line. And the thing is, most people, which is probably about 90% of this country or of this world, do not understand where confidence at that level comes from, because they've never really been through that struggle, or they were in that struggle and never really fully got out of it. Like they might be older, it might be years before, and they might be somewhat successful.
They're still damaged.
But the emotional trauma that they faced has still not been worked on and worked through, and so it still haunts them. It still taunts them. They still go through life and have like these random fucking triggers. And speaking of triggers, like here's the thing. I just read an analogy, which I've never looked at it this way. If you think of a trigger, think of a gun. You think of the whole gun, a whole pistol, for example. It's got a certain amount of weight, it's got a certain amount of dimensions, and then you think of the fucking trigger. The trigger is that big. It's about an inch long, and it's about 1-2 centimeters thick, right? So like you are allowing to have something so minute to have an explosive reaction like a gun would when it kills somebody.
Yeah, and derail you.
Versus actually making sure that your finger never touches that trigger point. Right. Because at the end of the day, I might see something, but it's up to me to control whether I'm going to react to that trigger point and push it so that I explode or not.
That comes down to
people.
It's
awareness.
Right, but also an emotional imbalance, right? Like people react emotionally, and that's something I've always worked on. It's like, okay, let's think about this, right? I'm not in combat. Somebody shoot at me, shoot back, right? There's nothing to think about.
I'm not cold and wet right now.
Right.
Like I'm not.
right. Stay frosty, right?
Yeah, right.
So if I start getting, it's like, wait a minute, okay, I can't let that individual kick my emotions in and react off my emotions, right? And the older I get, the more I have control over it, right? Because I don't want to do the wrong thing based on my emotions. Because a lot of people react emotionally.
Oh, yeah.
And you see it in fights, you see it in bars, you see it with toxic drugs, relationships. And so I have to check myself and go, okay, if I'm upset, how am I going to react? Don't let that dictate what I say or do, because that could have the negative or the bad outcome.
Well, and you actually had an experience I'll just say it, at Dragons a couple months back.
Yeah,
when somebody was trying to completely major misunderstanding. We don't even know. No one even knows why this guy had a misunderstanding, but was coming at him one day after another, and just by luck of the draw, Davrick was seeing him here. He saw him at the hotel. He saw him at the gym again.
Like Murphy was just shuffling the deck and put him next to each other.
Yeah, coming at you wanting to fight.
He wanted to fight him.
Yeah.
And Davrick's like, look, dude, I'm not here. I think there's a misunderstanding. I was just being friendly.
I'm trying to find some other way. There's got to be some way.
But he's already a hothead by nature. Everybody's got that, on the street.
Right.
And I'm like, and I took the high road. I'm like, look, okay, hey man, it's cool, my bad. And he's shaking. Right, this guy's ready to go.
He's flooded
sideways,
right.
And I'm thinking, okay, is it worth it? Do I need to go to jail? What's the outcome going to be? Right.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, regardless of who feels he won or not, I said, hey, my bad, misunderstanding, my bad. Look, I didn't mean to disrespect you.
Right.
I took the high road, even though in the long run he was in the wrong.
Right. Yeah.
But I said, it's not even worth it.
And at 20-something, you wouldn't have taken that road, probably, right?
I'd have been, superhero.
Right.
But you know who you are.
And did it work out?
It just kind of fizzled out.
It is what it is.
So it did work out. You're not in jail.
Right.
No. Right.
That is working out. Right. Question. Go ahead.
And so how I operate now is this thing called negative noise or negative static. Sean's brought this up, some terminology. When people say things or verbal, I used to get react. Now I think that's just noise.
Silence the noise, man. It's all around us every fucking day.
And this is a whole new level, right? Now this hasn't happened, but and some guys can't even relate to this. You're with your girl, you're on a date, some guy's saying something to your girl. It's like, that's just noise. You can do all you want.
Right.
You touch her, it's on. You get in her face, it's on.
Right.
You can say anything you want or do anything you want, just don't touch me.
Right.
So fuck you,
which I think only supreme confidence gets you to that point, right?
It's very hard, and I'm not saying it's the right way,
right?
But I've always had the negative outcome. I used to King County. I don't want to go to the King County Hotel again. Right? Because I was always the guy. It's like, I didn't do this.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like,
and everyone's like, tell your mom.
And I'm eating bologna sandwiches on Friday night, and I'm in there till Sunday.
Right.
A bunch of
watching
dudes.
the football games, right? And I'm the only guy in a blue jumpsuit. Everybody has red. It's like, what? Oh, they're felons. Why am I in here with this guy?
Right.
Yeah.
I just, so for me, it's like, you know what? It's not even worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Well, and it's not, man. I've had a couple situations like that too, and I'm a dude, I'm a combat vet. I've been training in Mortal Kombat.
I mean, this guy's look at his
essentially,
arms.
right?
Take his shirt off. There's arms the size of my legs.
I mean, it's just crazy.
But at the end of the day,
Yo,
man,
paisano, huh?
right?
Yeah, I don't know who's stepping to you either.
That's that. That is not knowing who you are. You know, like I had a guy roll up on me the other day on a road rage thing, right? So we're driving. Actually, I've had this happen a couple times, but I think I was taught, and I feel we're really talking about is emotional intelligence and really confidence, proving yourself to yourself. So you don't have to prove yourself to any external thing anywhere. I don't have to prove myself to my girl. I don't have to prove myself to my mom, to my dad. I don't have to prove myself to anybody because I work on myself all the time. I know how strong I am. Every day, all day. I know how strong I am. I know how weak I am.
Every day,
and I had this
day.
dude roll up on me, man. I cut him off on accident. Dude rolled up on me. He's cussing me out or whatever. Like, I'm me. I got like 50 pounds on the guy easy. I got a gun on me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at this guy.
And you're a brother, so
yeah,
you're
you know, like and he's cussing me out. We're in Orange County, California.
Oh, yeah.
God bless him. God bless him.
this is
He
not
grew up
on the
hard streets of Laguna.
Father, for they know.
And I say this with a grain of salt. This is not where he wants to get pulled over by the police in Orange County. Right?
Yeah.
Like, OC. I see him. Oh, calling for backup. We need to.
Yeah, 6
SWAT.
cars deep. Yeah, I'm sitting here and he's doing all this, and I just remember being like, "Hey, bro, I'm sorry, man. Like, it's a beautiful day. Let's go have a good day. Like, my bad, bro."
Yeah.
And he just was like,
It's like, what do you say to that? Right.
Yeah,
It's like,
man. And I've had other things happen when we're out with my girl and somebody does something stupid, and I remember just being like, "Yo, is this thing and this dude right now worth my future?" And the thing, I think another anchor point is your identity. The other thing is I have purpose, and purpose adds gravity to my life.
And you can lose.
Yo, I'm on my mission right now.
Yeah, because
now there's honor. Like, yo, I bet everyone at this table will die for honor. Like, when it comes down to it's that time. But like the noise, like I have my purpose. Like, and if you really got to be real important to knock me off my freaking.
Well, but here's the thing. On that note, your purpose protects you.
Oh, that's right. It adds gravity.
But you didn't have-
boundaries.
It does.
Yeah.
It protects you.
It really does.
It protects you from confrontation. It protects your purpose will
From a
protect
lot
you.
of things.
And
And
your purpose protects you from noise. Your purpose
Yeah,
protects
man.
you from anything that could derail you from the direction you're trying to go. The difference
your
is if you have to stay true to your purpose.
and you can lose.
rounded.
Yeah, you can lose your license.
Oh,
your
my gosh.
concealed
Yeah, like, I don't
permit,
got time
and just
for
to get a concealed permit in California.
Oh my
good
God.
luck.
How do you
Blood
get
samples, like
But
pounds
that's
of flesh.
it? Do you have one for
firstborn.
California?
Yeah, I got them for a lot of places.
So here's my point.
That's what I
if
do.
If he got in trouble at all,
Yeah,
right?
physical
even
confrontation,
if it was
they
a
can pull it.
misdemeanor, they
Right.
can pull it.
Yeah.
I
There
got to
goes your
write
whole
that
career.
police report airtight
Yeah.
before I touch him, which is what I usually do. But like, that's
I have
the game.
on this highway. You posted that one video just today about that kid that was getting bullied, which was just terrible. But before we get to him,
Yeah.
I wanna share
Did
a
you
story on
see
that,
the
too.
video of? I think 3 girls ganging up. It's like 3 black girls ganging up on an Asian girl on a subway, and they
Yes,
end up.
I
Did you
posted-
post that?
reposted that
Okay,
video, too.
you okay. In that situation, A, it always surprises me how many guys are just watching.
stare, yeah.
B, I kind of get why guys are watching because they, part of it is fear,
Right.
But then there's certainly some that like they're on the fence, but I know they're doing the math, right?
Right.
They're like, if I step in, do I have to punch one of these girls? Can I punch one of these girls?
Do I have the moral high ground? Like, if I defend myself, like,
Am I gonna get in
I'm
trouble?
gonna be the bad guy, no matter what happens.
Right, it's on video.
Yeah.
Like, so what are your thoughts on that? Like, for the bystanders, like,
Yeah.
what is like, is it fair game? Like, if you do step into that situation,
So I would say, like, if I saw someone being victimized like that,
Let's
even
use
if-
females.
and it was all females and
Right.
stuff like that, I would still step in, but I would do things like I would completely take control of them. I'd just do the bouncer moves. I would completely take control of those girls, and I would segregate them in an area, and I would deal with them. You know what I mean? And it would be like open hand stuff, and I would body block them and like push them kind of down on each other, and I would completely block them
Okay.
off on the train.
I have a
or
question.
I would get that female and take her to a safe location and put her in a hard
That'd probably be
space, and then I would just be like, "Yo,
and
don't come over
if
here."
one of those girls decide to punch you,
Yeah.
spit at you,
Yep,
whatever,
yep,
now
yep.
what?
You're just taking that stuff and you're writing the police report.
Still open hand.
Those
No.
females aren't dangerous enough for me to have to ball my hands up to deal with them.
Okay,
Got it.
okay,
Like, I could-
but here you go.
Now, if they escalate,
Now,
they
wait,
pull a knife
wait.
out or something.
Wait.
then
Okay.
we're on a lethal force situation.
This is going to
man.
get
That's
touchy
completely
here.
Different.
You said you move these girls, you bounce with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you're white and they're black?
Personally, I think you still do.
You do,
right
but
thing.
society says something else.
You do stand to have a taller order to have to answer for.
And then
but on that,
we got to bring it up because
we have to because it's on the table now. The other beautiful thing about that is Rittenhouse. That trial, in my opinion, if I may, that was self-defense on trial in America.
Yes.
Defend yourself.
There
They had guns. They were beating him up. They were chasing him around.
Listen,
I was posting videos as it was happening in real time.
For sure.
And I actually like truly I loved seeing. I was seeing things where like even other black guys that were showing the video of like, what the fuck are you guys tripping about? And he would literally, if first camera would be on him, and he'd be like, look at this video. White dude is running away with an AK-47
towards the cop
from white guys.
And these guys are running after him. First of all, in what right mind do you run after someone with a machine gun? Number one.
Well,
Number two,
assault rifle.
Number two, whatever. Number two. He's running away. You're going after him.
Right.
What do you expect when you tackle him down?
Right.
And it's like
and try to hit him in the face with a skateboard, kick him in the face, and another dude's got a handgun.
What did you think was going to happen?
Like he had,
And here's the thing: the black dude was talking to his community. He was like, "What are you guys tripping about? This is not racist.
Yeah.
This was
They were white people running after.
This is full self-defense. And what world did you guys turn this into racism?
Right.
Just because?
How did you
he
even
got
do
off?
it? Like how did they even do that?
Part two of my question.
Send it.
What if it's my girlfriend that's on that subway with me, and girls, for whatever, decide they're going to pick on her and do that? Same result?
Yeah. If it's my girlfriend, wife, whatever, significant other, I won't become aggressive against them in that situation unless I absolutely have to. So continuum of force, if they're trying to like physically beat her up with just open hands, then I'm cleared to use the same thing or a little bit more in order to control the situation.
Neutralize.
You do have some discretion, disparity of force because there's 3 of them and just 1 of you. But just because as strong as I am, I'm gonna take my wife, put her in a hard place where they can't get to her, and I'm just gonna deal with them. Now, if they start punching you in the face and you need to punch them back, you're still clear because at that point it's force on force. There are 3 of them. You're good, in my opinion. I'm not a lawyer, because I was a lawyer, but legally, like I believe you'd be perfectly fine, especially with being on tape like that.
And if they're causing bodily harm too, right? You
Right.
know? And not to be a jerk, but
they're assaulting
identify
you.
as being a female.
I mean, let it happen. in the state of California.
On your thing.
It's like
commented if they identify as a man, then that's how I treat them.
Right. So I mean, I got in a situation here, and I didn't even tell Sean about it.
You brought it up in the last episode, and then we got sidetracked.
Yeah, you did, bro. At the gym,
you said you had to pull the gun.
No, that was in Seattle.
No. At the gym, she called you. You're like, Davrick, I need you. These guys are.
Oh yeah.
Yes, you did.
So that was a separate issue.
You have a lot of issues. It's not you, it's me.
It's not you.
Fucking Davrick, dude.
You don't like the dude that looks Puerto Rican that's not Puerto Rican? What the hell, right? There was a situation at this store, and this black lady was getting out of control. I mean, she was a big woman.
With Iris?
With you?
With 300-pound black woman, easily. Big. Not just fat, big.
You got to
Out
throw
of
your
control
hips
with who?
in.
With
like
you
tall,
or with Iris?
Hold on, let me tell you.
Okay.
Tall, and then her 2 young daughters that were acting ghetto as hell.
Yeah.
And we were not even involved. And then, they're mad at this guy for parking his truck. What's going on? Da 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 da. And then the girl's like, she's like, can't you believe that shit? I said, he's probably just, he just probably parked there because whatever. And then they start going off of me and Iris, and these women start coming at us.
probably
And I looked at her. I looked at her in the face, and she the security guys were there.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, we're not trying to cause any problems. And she's like, saying all this shit. She came at me. I said, you touch me with that fist, I will knock you the fuck out. Right. And I will identify as a fucking woman. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking at me. She's 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Now, for the record, I am not in that situation. I'm not saying you cannot hit a female. That's not what I'm saying. If you got 3 females on you, they're balling up their fists, they're hitting you. I personally believe humans shouldn't hit humans.
No.
Now, if a human hits another human, you got to deal with the fact that other human might decide to knock you out. You know what I'm saying? That's just
the guys
reality.
grabbed her, right?
Yeah,
and she's coming at it, and we're not even involved.
Yeah.
And then she started going after other people, and then they're like,
Don't
they
hit
took my
people.
car keys. We're like, we didn't take your car keys, and they found them outside.
Yeah.
But it's like, how do
You're
we get
just
And so
stupid.
this happened again at the other place. The guy came. She went into this gym. They want to cancel her membership. one of these box shop gyms, right? And she's like, "Why are you canceling my membership?" "Oh, your mask." She's like, "I always wear my mask." They didn't talk to her about it. This member jumps in the conversation. And he starts talking shit to her.
Like white knighting or...
And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to call the cops." She's like, "What are you talking about? What? Oh, you're just a potty mouth." Blah, blah. So they get into it. This guy says he's going to hit her. She calls me. Wow. I'm like 7 minutes away, but 2 minutes in that car, right? Right. And she's like, "Oh, and I hear it." So I jump in the car. I pull up into the parking lot. He's out there. I jump out. Keep in mind, 3 male gym employees are standing at the door. He's in the parking lot. Not doing shit. Telling her he's going to beat her ass. And this guy's like 245, 6 feet. He's a brother, big right? Boy, yeah. I jump out. He jumps out of the car, and all I see is red. Everything's going black. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. My gun's under the seat, but I didn't even think about that. And he jumps out, and he starts coming at me, and I'm looking at him. I was like, "You don't want to do this." I said, "You need to get in the car and leave now." "Oh, no." He starts pulling his wallet out. I said, "Put that wallet away. I don't give a fuck what you're going to show me." I said, "You have no business telling a girl you're going to beat her ass." Right. And then I had to hold my girl back. She went in Latina mode. She's got her water thing. I'm going to hit his car. I'm like, whoa.
No, yeah, babe.
I'm like, hold on. I got some of this on video. I'll show in private.
Yeah.
So I'm holding her back. Here comes the 3 employees that are fit.
Okay.
Big guys. Now they come out. I'm looking at them and I said, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" I said, "You're not fucking men. You got a dude that's verbally assaulting a female, telling her he's going to beat her ass, and you didn't do shit. Fuck you, and you.
They don't
he's
want
like,
to smoke.
"Well, sir, she was out of control." I said, "I don't give a fuck. Get the fuck out of here." And I told the guy, "Get in the car now and leave." And he got in the car. And then these guys, I went off on them. And so we left, and her whole day's now me as a guy. 30 minutes later, I'm fine. I'm like, "Hey."
Yeah, you're like, anyways,
I'm go out to eat. I'm hungry. Let's eat. She's like, what am I going to do for fasted cardio? Where am I going to go?
Right.
It's amazing, but I had to calm down. And he tried pulling that military shit on me.
Really?
Like he's pulling his ID out.
No one cares, bro.
I'm like,
no one
bro.
cares.
And then he said, "I'm a special force." I said, "Oh, really? 7th group?" He's like, "Oh, I was there." I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "You weren't in 7th group. If you were special forces, you wouldn't do that to a woman."
Yeah.
I said, "You need to drop." But I told him to drop. Yeah. I said, "I'll make you do push-ups," right? I was fucking pissed.
Dude, and you know what?
I called Sean.
Yeah.
And this
He's like, "Dude, I need to cool off for a second.
I need to
bro.
vent.
Just hear me out for a second."
This is the only time Sean's seen me this upset.
Yeah.
Because like I said, if a guy goes, "I'm going to beat your ass," like, "Hey, bro, I don't get whatever."
We're dudes, man.
But
it's
now
totally
he's threatening my girl.
Yeah, it's a whole.
Well, that's Davik and I've had this conversation before because like you can say threaten whatever the fuck you want about me. The moment you start to step the boundary of my personal life and personal loved ones
or anyone I love,
I don't care to hold back. I'm gonna fucking let you have it.
Yeah.
Sean's got defensive over somebody saying something to me that he wasn't even involved.
Right.
And he started, I said, "Sean, it's okay. Don't worry about it."
No, it was about your girl.
Oh, yeah.
He still remembers it vividly.
So
Sean's, it's like you don't even remember it. Sean's like, "No, I know exactly." That's your boy, man.
This might get seen, dude, because and the people might see the fucking video. I don't give a shit. They fucking recorded her ass when she was on the gym. She was in the gym on Stairmaster, and I fucking lost it. Like I lost my mind.
They were these friends? Were they random?
They're supposed to be friends.
Really?
Acquaintance, friends.
He's like, right now, we're like, we need to get an ice pack.
And I was getting hotter. I'm telling you, I was so heated. I can't even tell you, my blood was boiling. I spoke to the owner, and I'm like, "Listen to me." I'm like,
"Listen to me.
What are you going to do about this?" Because I'm more heated than I think he is.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. If that was my girl, these dudes, I'd be burying them inside of your fucking club.
That's a whole nother kind of.
And I'm like, this is not okay. Like, why the fuck should any females, let alone people that are in relationships, and then putting it on social media?
It was guy working out. He's recording it. And then he goes over and he records her on the Stairmaster.
As her ass as a distraction.
"Oh, I'm distracted." And I'm looking at it going, and it's kind of like the John moment with Vanessa, right? You're like, every other day there's a dude staring.
There's someone shooting their shot with my girl every day.
Well, that's how you know you got
whatever.
No, I appreciate that, though, bro. Thanks. Good looking out.
That one I hear it and have to pause for a minute, wait for all the levels to go down, and then say something.
But here's the thing, for me, it's like, okay, But now, if somebody did that to Sean or his wife, I'd get more defensive.
Right. It's always the way it
I'd
is.
want to step in for them,
right,
to remove them and then put me in the middle. Like,
Yeah.
That's my boy, bro. What
Yeah.
are you doing with his wife?
I was
I think-
standing when I
You
lived
recorded this.
when I lived in L.A.
Oh
No, this is different. I lived in that was different. Yeah.
You gotta talk about that,
I
though.
will after that. When I lived in LA, I lived downtown in like Watermark Tower, real nice building on like 9th and Flower.
Okay.
And I'm standing outside there with Vanessa and Jake Ellenberger, UFC fighter at the time, top ranked welterweight, top 5 welterweight, pretty much his whole career.
Yeah.
And we're standing out there, and I think we were deciding where we're gonna go eat or something. We're standing right in front of my building on the corner, and there was like 3 or 4 guys, and I have my back to them. And I'm talking to Jake, and it's like Jake all of a sudden has checked out. He's not listening to a word I'm fucking saying.
Yeah, he's on the warpath.
And I'm like, Jake, you all right? And he's like giving the death stare through me. I'm like, what? Hello? Like,
Burning holes in
you
me,
hear me? And he's
yeah.
like, bro, that's not cool. He just said something like, that's not cool. And I'm like, what are you? I'm thinking he's talking to me, and he's like,
he's looking through you.
and he's looking through me, and I turn around, and I see these guys that are like laughing. Like, clearly they had made some sort of remark or were basically, I fucking Vanessa.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever she was wearing, whatever. And Jake got like I said, Jake is so
Chill.
nice. You guys haven't met him yet, but he's so chill. Like, Jake Ellenberger is, so
The
chill.
legit guys are chill.
And I finally turn around to those guys, and I said, I don't know what you guys just did to make him mad, but I'm telling you, you've picked the wrong guy to piss off today. So I don't know, like, what's going on, what you're doing. And, like, then Jake took a couple steps forward. I was like, but trust me, I get there's 3 of you. You don't want to do this. Just look at his ears. Like, you don't want to do this.
No, and
they ended up, like, leaving, and that was the end of it.
Thank God.
He was like, I was like, dude, what happened? He's like, I didn't like what I saw. I didn't like what I heard. I was like, all right.
That's enough for me.
but
I
you-
guess.
Respect.
But you know,
You know?
that's one thing. Here's the thing, like, I know for John, like, you deal with it all the time, but when it's strangers, it's kind of laughable because, it's like, fuck off. But
When it's
people you know,
Right.
that's absolutely unacceptable.
then it's like, it's not just unacceptable. It is deliberate, intentional disrespect, fuck you type of thing. And it's like, man, you're going to fucking cause a problem.
Yeah, that's
And it's your
problem-worthy.
lifeline.
Yeah.
I took a girl one time to the Bahamas where I was from, right? So we're in the States, and like there's always dudes being like, yo, what up,
Right.
let me holler. And then we go to the Bahamas, and she's like, this is weird. She's like, none of the guys have even looked at me.
That's because she's from Seattle, bro.
And I'm like, that's because there's still honor here. There's a man code here. There's old school here. Like here, people know they might actually get called to the carpet. You might get in a fight if you will easily can get into a fight if you're disrespectful. On the island. Out here in the States, you can do what you want. You can look somebody's girlfriend. You can do all this stuff, and nothing ever really is going to happen. So these kids grow up in this world like this, and then they start doing dumb stuff like videoing somebody's chick, not realizing you actually can get punched in the face. But you go to like some more legit places, a lot of times that honor code, like you don't even deal with this type of stuff. You deal with other stuff, but this stuff is squashed. Like you just you know better. You know what I mean? And that was just one of those times where I was like, exactly.
Again, traditional values.
Yeah, man. Back to traditional values, man. Because hey, a dangerous society is a polite society.
Yeah,
and I like polite societies.
I have had cases where in the gym, like I'll be like
You
20
recorded
feet.
it the other day, dude.
I'll tell that story in a minute.
Best fucking thing ever.
Sometimes like Vanessa will be on like a leg machine or something, and then just for comedic purposes, I'll video her to post on my story, like and just say something funny, whatever. I have had guys come up to me while I'm taping her because they don't realize I even know her and be like, bro, it's not cool. And I'm like, all right, I like it. Yeah, that's cool. I'm like, I hear you, but it's okay in this case. But you're talking about like a week or two ago.
Yeah, you're like homeboys trying to holler. And not getting
she was on a leg machine. I'm benching at like 10 feet away, and this guy comes up and starts talking to her or whatever. And I put it on story. I was like, when they shoot your shot right in front of you, they shoot their shot right in front of you, awesome. But in that case, he was really just saying, hey, I follow you on Instagram. It's a way to shoot the shot without shooting the shot. And I get it. It's all good.
It's going under the radar. It's trying to be slick.
But as long as they don't cross the line, don't touch her, don't whatever. It's all good. I'm fine. It's all good.
That's funny, man.
Sean was like, you're way nicer than I would be.
Well, even when Sean leaves the gym, right? Just as a friend.
Yeah.
Not that it's needed or he asked. I'm always territorial for him. So I'm always looking out for his girl.
Yeah,
Not if a guy, hey,
Yeah.
she blows him off, it's fine.
Right.
But a guy standing there, I might walk up and say, hey, how's it going? Like,
Right.
dude,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here, right?
so
But
you know.
he doesn't know, so you can't be mad.
Yeah.
But it's when people
But
that
you're
do
giving
that.
them those indicators like, hey, she's spoken for.
Right,
You should
right.
pick up on
Right.
it.
But here's the best one.
Yeah.
And I know you've done this.
Yeah.
The best one is when you go to the hotels and casinos
Yeah.
on the strip with
Yeah.
your girl,
Yeah.
and you might be waiting for her, or she goes to the bathroom, you're over there at the machine, and she comes out, and she's maybe 10 yards away.
Yep.
And I just sit there, and she takes 2 steps, boom, 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 boom,
Yep.
and I'm just sitting there laughing. I'm like, this
Yeah.
is funny. And the guy's like, he's got some game, and I'm
Yeah.
sitting there watching. She can't even get to you.
Yeah.
And you've seen that,
Of
right?
course,
And
of
they
course.
just, man, they're coming
Yeah.
in like
Yeah, the strip is-
F-15s and just boom, boom, boom.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the game there. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's what everyone's there to do.
Right. Don't be mad at the
Don't hate
inmates.
the exactly. That's the game. Don't hate the players.
hate the-
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And I remember one of my boys used to say, well, one of the old OGs used to say, the rules of the game go, don't check the player, check. He would say check the hoe, right? But for me, that's kind of really what it's all about, because if you have someone who's valuable, especially I've found as a man getting older, because our value increases. Like, we appreciate like houses. Like, it's like a thing. Like, when I was in my 20s, like, I was hot and I was young and stuff, but like, I wasn't really powerful yet. Like, I wasn't really even really good at anything yet. Now that
You're
I
a
have-
lion cub.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now that I actually have some experience,
Got a little bit
and
of gray.
some businesses, it's like your SMV, sexual market value, goes up, right? But and then with your female, if she's hot like she should be, to be at this level with us, she's gonna be getting shot at all the time. And
Yeah.
that's why the rules of the game go.
So you gotta expect
how do
that. You
they
gotta
deal with
expect
it?
that.
But we've had this conversation.
How they deal with it is the
Oh,
only thing I
yeah,
care
yeah,
about.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
bro.
Like, this is what
him
we're
and I
talking
literally just
Because that's what I'm really watching. Like, that's what I'm really watching.
him and
Never
I
mind the
literally-
guy.
Yeah, this-
What's the girl
The
doing?
guy is like gravity. Like, we're all for sure gonna die, and if you're hot, you're gonna get hit on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at the game.
Right.
Him and I literally just had that conversation like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Is like, if our chick gets hit on,
Yep.
how does she respond?
Exactly.
Does
The
she
only thing
does
that
she
matters.
shoot it down like fucking shit on them, shoot them down?
Yeah.
Or is it just kind of like,
Kind of leaves the door
Like-
open. Oh, it's okay, but
and then that kind of plays naive?
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
him and I literally just had that conversation. It's like, how do they react like when we're not around?
That's all that
And
matters.
that does fucking matter, because
Yes.
that is the delivery that happens in the relationship behind closed doors, and how do you
All the
guys
time.
escalate together?
But a lot of people haven't taught them, those individuals, how to respond because they haven't been with a leader
Yeah.
or a traditional value
Correct.
man. And so they're like, oh, I don't want to
Well-
offend them. I want to be nice.
So you spend the first 3 years just being, they're like, you're mean. It's not really like, it's like an education process.
But
that
it's
you're talking about right now.
setting expectations from the beginning.
100%.
It's kind of funny. My ex-wife.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's like, my ex.
I was going to say second one, but so I don't want to be like Larry King, right? I don't want to be like Larry King.
Dick.
Oh, so
Right. Number 5.
Number 12.
Yeah.
But when I started dating her, this is what she said. She goes, so I have a question. If I want to go out and have girls' night out every weekend, what would you say? I go, there's the door.
Yeah, my man right there.
And at the time, she was like,
Oh,
the
my
bomb.
goodness.
Filipino,
Yep.
sexy, tan, built, muscular. Everybody's like, oh my God, what'd you say? I said, there's the front door.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I don't, look, I said, do you think a high valued man, I didn't know that term then.
Yeah.
Because I was working on going there, but I think, what value, you want to have girls night out, stay single.
Yep, 100%.
Well, you don't trust me. I said, it's not about trust, it's about respect.
100%.
Right? And that's the thing that some of these women don't understand. If men always, this is all I want. At my age,
And that song was originally sang by a man, by the way. Aretha Franklin stole it. That RESPECT.
oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Do
It's
some
like,
homework.
can you,
Google it.
I want respect and no drama.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a simpleton, minimalist minded
Wait,
man.
but is that girls' night out period or every week?
No,
like once in a while, okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got to go out with your girlfriend, but I'm talking
Right.
about. Look, you want to go out
Like
and
what
tear
we
it up on
see-
the dance floor, like 24. This weekend it's girls' night out. We're going to go to Miami, tear it up on the dance floor. Then
Right.
we're going to. It's like you want a traditional man, but you're not acting like a traditional woman.
Right, right.
And some women are like, oh, you're just trying to control. No, I'm not. Do you think? They're not together anymore, but at the time, maybe like Bill Gates' wife, do you think she's tearing it up at the dance floor? Or you think, you see what I mean? You're
No,
a power
because
couple.
there's image and reputation involved in that as well,
right.
and also
Huge.
character
Right.
too. Because like
Huge.
if I'm not with my woman and she's out and about,
Yeah.
And people know that she's my woman, and people see her from whatever
Targets.
angles. They're also gonna look at like,
And they're
gonna be like, that's Sean's girl.
It's a
and look at how
weakness.
she's
I'm gonna go in.
Look at how she's
Yeah.
behaving. Well, not just that, but like they're gonna be like, look how she's behaving. That doesn't match who Sean is.
Right.
Which character is real?
Yeah.
Right.
I always compare it to like a fan.
And
Like,
then I start getting phone calls. Yo, your girl's out
right,
here.
yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da, right?
Yeah, we were.
Right.
But and then there's the other thing that like everyone likes to pretend like they trust their mate. Like I'm a psychology major, you know what I'm saying? I've been in some counseling and it's just like you're a human. Stupid things happen to stupid people that put themselves in stupid situations.
Yeah.
You
know what I mean?
You know what's funny?
Like one of my therapists, she's like, when I was having this conversation in a marriage therapy situation, and she's Harvard certified in sex and alcohol, and my partner was like, but I want to go out with my friends, and she's like, you're too young, you're too hot, people are going to want to smash you, you're going to want to smash people, get alcohol involved, you will fail. And what I see bouncing for years, everybody failing, everybody smashing it. Oh,
But watch this.
I'm engaged, and it doesn't mean everyone's going to do it. But I win because I manage the human element. Like I manage it.
right.
Hold on. Watch this. So all of the people in here, right? If you said, Dad, let's meet up, you're not going to say, hey, Dad, let's go to the club.
Right.
You guys don't want to be, because there's no value. Say, hey, let's meet for coffee. We might meet at a lounge, cigar lounge.
Yeah. Sure.
But that's
We
the
can
extent
talk.
of it. We can talk. It's too
And
loud.
hear each other.
But here's the other thing. With Iris, I said, hey, why don't you go out with the girl? She doesn't want to go out without me.
Right.
Yeah.
And I said, go ahead. Why don't you? Oh, no, I don't want. You got to come with me. Well, 10 girls? Okay, I'll go. No, but you know what I'm saying? It's like every time you see these posts, you're like dabbing with all these girls.
Yeah.
It's not the Blazerian thing. It's that my girl does not like to go out without me.
Right.
Because she gets that pressure. She's putting herself in the environment that's toxic. She knows
She
it.
wants to be looked after.
And she wants to be looked
Good.
after.
That's smart.
You know, that's
Your girl's smart.
That's very respectable too. Though, like
Yeah.
that gives you faith.
Yeah.
Because like once I got asked, like, how would you feel if I went to a festival with a couple girlfriends, and I'm like, nope,
Absolutely not.
She's like, you wouldn't be okay with it. I was like, I wouldn't just not be okay with it. You and I will no longer be together
100%.
the minute you step out the door on your way there. She's like, why?
Right.
And I was like, because I'm just not okay with those kind of situations and that type of a theme.
Right.
He's like, but you don't trust me? And I'm like, as you said, it's not you.
Right.
I don't trust other people.
Putting yourself
And you're-
in this
And you're putting
situation.
yourself in a situation where you're going to be around people that are so fucked up, so drunk, so drugged out. They might intend to try to do something. You might get overpowered.
Yeah.
Something might happen. And guess what? If you want to have this conversation and I stayed with you and you go out to a festival and something dreadful fucking happens, anywhere from getting hurt, put in the hospital to rape or something, guess what? Before I go after that person, I'm coming at you as hard as I can with like raging bullets, because we had this conversation.
Right.
You knew better. I
Right.
told you the possibility. It was very high,
And I think
and it happened.
people forget that, like, as an alpha, now a beta will let this happen all day long. He'll be like,
Sure.
yeah, I got out with your girls. Like, I trust you completely. And that's the same guy that some other alpha is smashing that chick. That's that guy who it's happening to. But I think they forget that our purpose on this planet is provision and protection. And so me seeing these things and literally seeing through the matrix and being like, that's too dangerous of a situation. You shouldn't be there. Like my daughter, like, oh, don't you trust your kids? Like, dude, I was a kid. No, I don't trust my kids. Okay, I'm here to
don't want
protect my
kids
kid.
doing what
I'm
we
trying to
did.
protect my kid. Like, no, I don't trust my kids. You know what I mean? I can barely trust myself. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm working on me, like, not eating a cookie late at night right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we all act like we're so above reproach. Like, we're humans. man.
That's why my dad was always like super protective. Like even though, like I said,
But that's what we're here to do,
He was
you know?
a shitty dad, but
Yeah.
he was a man's man. And when it came to protection, that was like his number one thing. Like I'll protect my family, and I'll fucking kill anybody that gets in the way. And there's this time
Whether you
where,
like it or not.
Yeah, and there's this time where like I was in a mosque. Forgive me. I always pray for forgiveness on this one because I'll never forgive myself.
Yeah.
We're in a mosque. This is when I was still Muslim before I converted to Christianity, and me and a few friends, our families were friends with the person who built it, that owned it, that ran the show, and it's been like it was always our home turf. Every Sunday when they would do the prayers and everything, we would go, and there was this one year where the Persian New Year was coming around, and I guess you'd call it some new kids on the block started to show up. And we started seeing them every week. And then they started trying to walk around like there's some hard clique. And it's like, dude, this is a fucking mosque. Like, we're here to hang out, have a good time, meet some new friends and whatnot. But they just wanted to be all cliquey. And so there was a moment where like they tried to like this weird turf war. And it's like, guys, we've been here for 20 years. We've known the doctor that owns this place before you guys were born. Like, settle down.
Right.
And it turns into this riot for a little bit, and then like everybody kind of breaks off, and then next thing I know, like I'm coming out there's 2 buildings in a parking lot. It's 2 buildings inside of gates. And I'm coming out of one of the buildings, and I see 2 dudes raging on my guy, beating his ass.
Like physically?
Yeah, fists flying at him, cracking him in the dome. I come in, I pull the biggest guy out. He's like, what the fuck you doing? He swings at me. And the first thing immediately I do is I pull back and I crack him twice in the head, and then I come over with a hammer stomp on top of his head, and he cripples onto his knees and passes out without falling over. And 5 minutes later, wakes up and like just completely like concussion out of his mind, toppling over. And then you see his eyeballs kind of roll over. Then he cries and runs to his family. His parents come out. His sister comes out, starts screaming at me. Do you feel good about yourself beating up dudes and whatnot? And I was like, you weren't here.
Yeah.
Your brother, you're a piece of shit of a brother, and his friend were just beating up my friend. You want me to just stand there and let him do nothing? And besides, your brother swung at me first. At that point, it's free game.
Yeah, it's game on.
So fast forward, they go off on their own, and it's me and my friends. They're fine. And then this kid's dad comes up from behind me.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, are you so-and-so? And I was like, yeah. And as he's shaking, I didn't know who he was.
Right.
And he starts crushing my hand. And he's like, you hit my son. And he's telling me that and he's threatening me that he's going to fuck me up. And my dad sees him from corner, comes up from behind him, grabs him. You know that the pressure points right here on the collarbone?
The clavicle.
Grabs him on the pressure point and basically whispers in his ear, if you touch my son again, I'm going to slit your throat in front of your family.
Damn.
Full stop. Pause for effect.
And he's like,
That was a promise.
and he's like, Sean, let's go. And then we left. And I was like, holy shit, I've never seen my dad. I mean, I've always known he's protective.
You're right.
But I've never seen the dark side. Like, I've seen it come out on me, but I've never seen it on the opposite side. And I was like, fuck yeah, Dad.
That's love right there.
And I was like, that I will take with me forever, and I will forever do the same to my loved ones.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's the high level. That's the top shelf man stuff, man. And being a man that's capable of being able to bring that to bear if you need to.
So I have a question for John.
Yeah.
Have you been in a situation with Vanessa where it's been heated with somebody doing something inappropriate to her? And can you talk about it?
Yeah. Okay. So this was kind of early on in our relationship.
Like how early on?
In the first year.
Okay.
And so I just moved here. And
How long you been together? So
it'll be 5 years in February.
Got
So she used to work at Wet Republic.
Oh, yeah.
And so sometimes for work, they have to do like outings. So like to promote, like all the Wet Republic girls go to Tao or they go to Hakkasan or whatever. So in this case, they were at Lavo Brunch, which I don't know if you've ever done that. It's actually a fun time. It's like Sunday or
the
Saturday.
one at Caesars?
No, it's at Lavo at Venetian.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So it's like a day party in a restaurant, in the restaurant Lavo.
Oh, I know what that is.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun. It's actually kind of fun. Whatever.
I like
I'm not a big club guy, but you know. Like I go there and eat chicken fucking parm at the bar while everyone's partying. Like that's me. So we're sitting at the Wet Republic table, right? And so I know she's there for work, so it's like a weird dynamic. Like, you know, I'm already like, you know, all right, whatever. Don't do anything stupid, whatever.
Right.
Not that I would, but this guy. So she's sitting. You know, you can sit in a booth, but you sit up high in the booth, like on the back of where your head would be, like right. So she's sitting like that, and I'm standing behind her. So I'm not technically in the booth. I'm just standing behind her outside the booth.
Yeah.
This guy comes up, and again, guys come up all the time, like, you know, and and it's an industry event, so it could be a guy that works with her, it could be a guy that used to work with her, like whatever, I don't know, you know. So this guy comes in, and the music's loud, you know, and I hear him say something, and she's like, "What?" You know, and then I hear him say, "How much?" Oh, literally, how much? I go, what the fuck did you just say? And I literally, so you haven't been to Lavo, so there's a
man went off safe.
Picture a wall.
Safe mode's off.
There's a wall, and to my left, and then the booth that she's in, and then a walkway to the bathroom. Okay, so
I've been in there, but I don't remember.
Yeah, okay. So I literally fucking like push him up against the wall. I'm like, what the fuck did you just say? You know? Yeah. And he's like mumbling whatever, and I just keep pushing him because I'm like, fuck, I don't want to. I literally am pushing him, hoping you take a swing.
Yeah. Just like, come on.
You know, my move used to be cracking you in the face with an open hand because it's just so degrading to a man.
And
then like, what do you now?
You have to fight.
Most won't.
Really?
Most won't. Well, I mean, obviously, I'm not doing it to
God
people.
bless
I
him.
did it to my big cab driver once. I should tell the cab driver story. And then he's like backpedaling, talking shit, and I'm like literally walking him out the club, and then security comes, but I look like the fucking asshole.
Aggressor, yeah.
So like, yo, and I'm like, dude, he just asked my girl like how much, like twice, like fuck that, you know, and they threw him out.
Yeah.
But like that's a situation where if she wasn't at a work function, I would never push. Pushing is not my. I don't ever push.
Right.
I like to go first. That's why I don't get my ass beat.
But did he know?
I go first. I hit you first. And I win. Whoever hits first usually wins.
Did he know
quick
that
and the dead?
Right.
Sun Tzu.
Did he know you were with her?
I was literally standing right next to her. Like he put himself between
he's stuck on
us.
stupid. He's stuck on stupid.
He was locked on. Like,
Yeah, like he put himself
locked.
between us, but not like where he's pushing me out of the way, but just like it was like, you know, like someone like could come
He
up.
didn't even see
and you're
you.
like,
You know,
You didn't
like,
even
dude, that's
exist
not
to
a.
him.
You know the crazy? I mean, I don't know. Maybe you guys have, maybe you have. I don't know. But even when I was young, I never did the fucking scumbag shit. I
me
never
neither.
walked up
Didn't
to
either.
girls in a scummy fucking
No.
way.
Yeah.
I've never said any kind of
was
fucking
weird,
scumbag shit.
scummy
I've never
stuff.
tried to hit on a girl in a fucking inappropriate
No,
way.
yeah.
I've
no.
never even tried to like talk to a girl that I know could potentially make her like
uncomfortable. or anything
uncomfortable
with it.
and
Yeah.
like I don't want to be around it. Like
Yeah.
I've just never been like that. I've never been the guy that sends any kind of fucking pictures.
I was never a
Yeah,
pickup
I never
guy
said
either.
I've never done
like
that.
these dick pic guys.
Yeah, like what the?
I would
like,
never
what
say.
world?
Like, are you
Like what
kidding
the
me?
fuck world? I
Yeah.
would never do that. Like I've never done that, and like I just don't understand like where some of these boys
get
the
off
fucking
doing
beta
this stuff.
boys. Like
Yeah.
where do you come off talking to females? Like
Yeah.
dude, if you're attractive, if you're a good dude, you could have a nice conversation and then maybe leave an impression and walk the
but
fuck
But you know
off.
what they're
off,
like?
yeah.
They're the McLovin guys. They have no skill set.
Totally. And this guy
McLovin.
was
You use
hammered.
McLovin?
God bless McLovin.
McLovin,
Yeah.
right? Like
This
that
guy was
movie.
so drunk. Like it was obviously
Well,
so
that-
drunk.
again,
So then I'm like, okay.
It's
like,
funny.
you just
It's interesting
fucked
because
up.
like I don't drink. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
But when we would go out before, I'm a happy guy.
Yeah.
I'm happy. But then he sees people get drunk and they go
stupid.
pervert guy
Yeah.
or angry guy.
Yeah.
It's like, and pervert angry is really bad,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Because they're
yeah.
mad that they're not getting any, and then they get aggressive with the women.
So you got to get out of there before the place closes.
Yeah.
And that's why with me, like she, you know, we'll go to a lounge, but it's like because I'm just like, you know, she's young, she wants to go out, and it's like, okay, let's go to the cigar lounge, and we get there, and it's like, okay, and I'm on point.
Oh, I'm on
My
point.
head's on,
I'm on a detail.
swivel.
Yeah.
And she's like, are you okay? And I gotta like relax a little bit, and I'm like,
Yeah.
But I
Dude,
just
I
every
don't
time we
relax.
go out, guys will come up to her.
I'll look
Yeah.
relaxed.
Guys
at
will
some
come up
point.
to her,
Yeah.
and I don't get offended when guys, because you know, bathroom. It's like she'll get hit on 5-10 times when I'm right there.
Yeah.
And then she'll come up to me, and they're like, oh, it's cool, and
Yeah.
I can't get mad at them
That's
because they
fine.
don't know.
That's
the
But
game.
then it's like I'm waiting for that one guy.
Yeah.
That comes over drunk that's inappropriate.
Yeah.
And
It's
I'm
gonna
like,
go too far.
I don't want that.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
let me-
because
let
it
me-
goes back to that what I said, man. Stupid things happen
Yeah.
to people that put themselves in stupid positions.
Right.
And so you will be hard pressed to
that's why.
find me
That's
in a
why.
stupid
Like, I just don't
position,
do
man.
certain types of outings where
Yeah.
I know
You don't wanna
dude,
be
I
in that
know-
situation.
And the
Stupid
thing is, like,
people
I
are-
always get like every time I even think about it, like I get this weird
Like,
gut feelings that are like
It's a
that are
little
like,
bit of an
Sean,
anxiety
if you step
thing
out,
where you're like-
if you step out, some dumb motherfucker
Yeah.
is gonna
Yeah.
try to talk to you a certain way.
Let me
is gonna
throw
look
this
at your
scenario
girl,
out.
and
I have
I
to
already know,
manage.
like I can already.
I might kill some. Like, I'm
Right.
not, you know what I mean? Like,
no,
I
for
Today
real.
the day I kill someone.
I
For
can't
real.
put
That
myself in the
No, but that is
situation.
the
Yeah.
thought that goes through my mind. Is I think to myself, like, I already know
Yeah.
if someone comes at me wrong, I'm ready to strike, and I don't even care if it puts them out for good.
And then
So I'm like, I'll make sure I talk myself like, okay, we're not going over there
Because
We're
the stupid
going over
people-
there.
John's there. He's got a hot
and
girl.
even
Here,
if
go
I
on.
take-
I assume I have to take care of you for good because you're better than me because I'm not big like you guys. So I just assume this is going to be a fight to the death.
it has to be. And then even if I take the high road, it still takes like 5 years off your life. It feels like, yeah,
It
I mean,
does,
like you
yeah.
still like sometimes you do,
And
it,
then
it's
you're like, your girl's
and
like, you
feel
didn't do
you
anything.
you feel
Yeah.
like you're
Like, you
Jedi
want me to go to
magic. But
jail?
if there's something egregious,
Yeah.
and you have
So,
to take the high road, that's still
let me
in your
throw
head.
this
You're
scenario
like,
out.
I got to go spend
I'm
an hour
curious
in
what
the
you
heavy
guys
bag.
say about this. So this happened at Aria like a month and a half, 2 months, maybe 2 months ago. So there's like a little lounge at Aria. I don't know the name
Right
of
when
it.
you walk in the back entrance, and there's a lounge right there. Right
On
by
the right.
Yeah, right by the bathrooms, and the food's on the
Correct.
left. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
No, yes.
You go up
Okay.
the stairs.
So, near the guest elevators. It's
Yeah.
near. This is near the guest elevators. There's like a little lounge
Okay,
where you can
okay.
sit and
Yeah.
maybe eat, whatever.
Yeah, I know
So we're
that.
walking by. I'm okay with you want to stare at her, because especially if we're in a casino and it's Friday night.
yeah.
I get it. Like that's cool. But if you do it, seeing that I'm next to her
Right.
to a point that's past, like that's a hot girl.
Well, like
Okay,
gawking.
okay.
Wait. You're talking about like gawking, not just like,
Yeah.
Yes.
oh, that she's
So
attractive.
this is two
Like
guys
that,
sitting
yeah.
at a table, and this dude, pretty big dude. He's literally like
Just eating it up.
Okay,
the whole way.
I'll answer
And
that.
so I turn around and because I know he's still looking. I turn around and I go, "You all right?"
Yeah,
That's
like,
usually what I say.
take a picture?
You all right?
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, I'm all right." And I just stare at him until it's uncomfortable and just see what are you gonna do?
Well, that happened because we were just there. And with her and her girlfriend.
Yeah.
And the whole place was like this. But I have to expect that.
Sure.
Because you're guys come to Vegas. Like, I'm sorry, guys come to Vegas for New Year's. Women go, oh, let's go to New Year's. Guys don't come to Vegas for New Year's to be at New Year's.
Right.
They come to fuck.
To hunt.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we're in there, and guys are like this. And I had a guy's wife call her over.
Yeah.
Like there were a couple, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
babe,
that's
come
the
here." I'm
thing.
like, "What's she want with you?" I'm like, and I'm walking through, and there's all these guys sitting there watching.
Right.
They're sitting there. There's like 5 of them. They're all doing this, and then we walk by, and I know they're looking.
Right.
But you know what? I'm in that environment with the lions or the hyenas.
Right.
Right. And
Right.
the coyotes and the
Yeah.
wolves. I have to be in that mode where if I'm going in that jungle, there's going to be other predators in
Right.
there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And if you're gonna-
it is disrespectful. It is, but you're going to get it. Look at your girl.
But if we lock eyes while you're doing it,
There's supposed
then
to
give
be
me
a
a little
cool
fist
off.
bump. Give me a bro, good
Right,
job.
right,
Or
right.
if you give me that, we're
Or they-
good.
or they
But
stand
if
over
you're
there.
just gonna act like I'm not there, like go fuck yourself, dude. Wrong guy.
100%.
Wrong guy.
Same thing, or just look away. Like if you've been caught, look away.
Yeah, just
Or
like,
look away.
Like
right.
just look away.
Yeah.
give him a nod.
If you're
like,
gonna
just
be
look
so
away.
bold, you can just give me the what's up.
like,
You know.
Honestly, here's the thing. Like I'm different.
Something.
I'm
you know,
different.
brothers do it all the time. God.
I'm different. I'm more like evil with that. I'm like,
Right.
don't even fucking give me a fist bump. I don't want to know that you just looked at my chick that way.
Yeah,
Like, I don't want
yeah,
the
yeah.
fucking fist
That's
bump. I want-
hardcore,
if I
Sean.
look at you- if I look at you
Yeah.
and I catch you, look the fuck
Fuck.
down.
Yeah.
But-
because
but-
what
okay.
happens next can just be. I'm right there with
But-
you.
The thing is, because here's the thing, like at the end of the day, because I've seen wicked shit before. I mean, it's not happened with me directly, but I've seen wicked shit where like something like that will happen, and then fast forward to like an hour, 2 hours later, and those same gawkers
Pop
are
up
going to
again.
pop up again,
Yep.
and then they
Right.
actually go in for the
Right.
for the kill.
Yeah, or
And
they
it's
drug somebody. I've
It's like,
seen it
okay,
happen
now
when they
you
drug
know,
somebody.
because I saw this. I
It's-
literally saw this happen with someone else, and I thought to myself, if I was in that position, I was like, I know. If that happened to me, like there wouldn't be no conversation.
No, absolutely not. We all know.
I just know that, like, and with all respect,
Yeah.
your partners are gorgeous,
Right.
right? So myself going, okay, if I bring Iris out, I'm going in the
course.
jungle,
It
right?
goes with the territory.
But he's got a point. If you got this guy like I call it the little, he's kind of
Pilot
the trailer, the crumb, picking up the
Fucking
bug,
serpent.
and then
Yeah,
he's over
that's what
here,
it is.
and he's over here. It's like, bro,
Don't be creeping.
What are you doing?
Let me ask you this:
Slithering
have
around.
you had friends ask you if it's okay to like Iris's pictures on Instagram?
yes.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm like, yeah, if you don't like the picture,
Yeah,
I mean,
me too,
But
yeah.
it's
But
like,
it's interesting. I've had friends say, "Hey, like, is it okay?" Like,
But-
I
but-
feel weird.
respect. I can
but-
respect.
Well, hold on,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah, I can
but
respect.
Sean,
Him and I don't.
I
Him and
no,
don't.
yeah,
Him
yes,
and I don't
yeah.
like.
In
He doesn't-
my
I
career,
don't- there's certain pictures of
Certain
his
picture-
girl I don't like, and vice versa.
right,
that
like
we just- we
like
don't.
Vanessa and your girl, right? Like
Social media
Stacey.
etiquette,
I'm
y'all.
like she's doing like, not that she is. This is just hypothetical. She's
Yeah.
doing bent over rows. I don't even want to fucking look at that.
Look at
picture.
that, yeah, right.
'Cause Sean's like, motherfucker, right? Like, and
Literally,
then
yeah,
Vanessa's there in a nice dress,
Right.
I'm like. Right? And I'm like, don't swipe.
Yeah.
But if it's like she's out and like and she's the girls and they're all celebrating her
Right. No, I
success
get it.
with the
If
it's a
internet,
platonic,
I might
like-
like it, but I've like maybe like 1 out of maybe 20 pics of Stacy's just because I feel awkward. It feels like I'm looking at, you know what I mean? It's like my
Yeah,
brother's
Right.
girl, and
There's
I don't
supposed
want
to
you
be some
guys to
code
ever
there.
think that.
Yeah, I never will. I'm okay with it. Like, because I always like to me, it's like
You've, like,
the
had
name
to
of social
deal with-
media.
But
This
here's-
game
but
we're
here's-
playing is
but here's
likes
the
and
thing,
comments.
there's-
You know,
yeah.
But there's
I mean,
two
it's
things
like
here.
I better like one picture so she doesn't think I'm
But,
not being
but there's two things here.
I
'cause,
don't-
like your girl, like it's completely different because she's social media
Building
famous,
something.
Right.
And her whole business life,
Right.
money, revenue, everything is all based off of that.
Right.
So for you, it's 1,000% more expected, knowing it's going to happen.
Right.
Versus like us, it's kind of like on a whole different playing field.
Now-
Yours, that's part of the business.
now,
Right.
You know?
now, there's people we know that like every one of her fucking pictures,
And we're not gonna
And
be
then
those
like
people.
it's like they got her on what's that when she posts something.
the notifications.
And you
are
know what's
on.
funny? But they won't like ours.
They won't like ours. And then there's
That's
guys.
irritating.
And then there's guys in the
You get that too.
Yeah.
There's guys in the waiting in the waiting room, right, to
Yeah.
see if she's going to slip up. Now, I'm not on her IG for internet purposes,
too.
right? Just
Right.
because she's in that space, and so. But
bad for the brand.
There's guys that was following both of us,
Right.
and then as soon as the story goes, they'll watch her story. And she goes, "Oh, he watched." I said, "Well, yeah, he's waiting."
Yeah.
She's like, "Waiting for
He's
what?"
an orbiter.
She's waiting for what? Waiting for us to be a part. So he's going
I'm
for the
now
kill.
single
Right.
announcement.
The
Yeah.
naiveness.
And the only way he'll know is if he goes to check mine because she's on mine.
Right.
Well, there's people that have like even asked Tim Strep like, hey, like what's up with Iris and da 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 da, and it's like, motherfucker, like what are you asking him these weird questions for, like as if him and his girl aren't together anymore?
You asked.
Yeah.
They asked you.
No, they asked you like about.
Oh,
like, Iris
yeah, they
stuff,
don't
like-
do that.
and
They-
it's like, what the fuck, are you, like, bro, like who?
Well,
first of all,
it happened
first of all,
yesterday.
even if here's the thing,
Yesterday.
even if something did happen. Why the fuck, if you're friends or even acquainted, why the fuck is
Friends.
it your business to even be asking something like that? Like as if like you're trying to fish. If you're not together anymore, you're gonna go swooping on your boy's girl. Like,
Yeah.
dude,
I did a test trial. This is what I did. So the last 6 or 9 pictures, it was me or my cars or whatever, right? And she was down on the bottom of the, it's like a month out, right? And all of a sudden, everybody's like, "Hey, bro, like today, everything okay?" I said, "Yeah, you sure? Everything good?" And I know what he's asking. Are we cool? Right? And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Why? Are you sure?" It's like, this motherfucker.
is it who I'm thinking of?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I'm going, okay, this guy, first of all,
That means a conversation. must
if
have
I'm
happened.
single, I don't even know his wife. But if I met her and they weren't together and he said, "Oh, Byron Rodgers," poof, I'm gone.
It's a respect thing, man. Like,
Because I wouldn't want one of you guys with her knowing
Right,
all my
of course.
dirty laundry
Right.
that I wear women's underwear at night. No,
Right,
I'm just
right.
kidding. But
That's
you know what I'm
okay.
saying?
Yeah.
It's something like that. You know what I mean? It's
Sure.
like I can't
It's-
do it. It's like, okay, you need to go out there and achieve something for yourself. Find your own mate.
Yeah, there's too many out
Don't
there.
be a
There's so
bottom
many.
feeder.
You
Don't be a
need to-
bottom
Well,
feeder.
that's where the whole code of honor is just
Yeah,
doesn't
dude.
exist.
Yeah.
That's why like my circle is so fine tuned and small and tight, and it's like, and the thing is like that standard, that value, like if you're in my circle, it is demanded out of you. I don't care if you're male or female, and if you break even a hair of a character, like you're
Disqualified.
I'll go this far.
Disqualified.
I'll
out
go
of the
this
circle.
far. If any one of you guys is, and hopefully it never happens, but you guys broke up and your girl decided to be friends with my girl and want to hang out, I say no.
absolutely not.
No.
Right.
She's like,
bro.
why? She's really nice. No, because it's crossing too many lines and there's too many what ifs. It's not
And
cool.
then she's coming over to your
And then
house,
she's
and
like,
your
"Oh,
boys like,
no, I'm
absolutely
good.
not.
No, so with all due respect,
Yeah.
your girls and partners, I'm
Yeah.
sure your wife, great women, great ladies.
Yeah.
They don't have this code though. That's a whole nother thing. I feel like
They don't.
we are the
Women
ones
don't?
that
No.
yeah, females don't
Do you
have an
think
honor
that's
code.
because they, for the most part, they don't grow up on like team sports? I actually really think that team sports changes how you interact with
I feel like
people.
Like maybe,
I don't
but
know,
I
that's a
feel
good
like
question.
I got 5 sisters, man, and
Right.
watching these chicks grow up, bro, they are stabbing each other in the back. They're recycling friends. Friend takes a boyfriend, they're taking him back as friend. Like
Right.
women just operate
Jesus,
differently,
wow.
man. Like
Yeah.
and on the stuff you guys are talking about, it's the same with my crew, man. Like my boys, like one of my boys just followed my chick, and we've been together for like 7 years. Like he just followed her like a year ago. Like you know what I mean? Like. If my wife's in the environment, like my boys aren't sitting there chatting her up. Like literally, she said yesterday, she's like, yeah, like Caleb just started talking to me, and like we've been together for like no one's liking any pictures,
Right.
and it's not like I'm like don't like my girl's pictures. It's just we all know how we are. It's like that's kind of that alpha thing, and it's like
So
until
what was
like,
your thought process on that as soon as she told you?
No. I was like, it's fine. We got kids, and like, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, got it, okay.
I was like, that was totally cool. But like,
Oh, so
yeah, he's still like, yo,
I was like, what
you know,
the
I need to go pay this guy a visit.
Why after 7 years?
No, so 7's the
Yeah.
number.
What you been thinking all these
I wasn't
years?
sure that you were bringing it from a point of questioning, or
Yeah.
or her was like, why is it taking him so long to follow?
Well, yeah, she was like, because we were talking about man code at that time with one of my other brothers, right? And we were talking about how like, you know, like some dudes are line steppers because if you have a good chick, like there's always going to be that. And then my boy, she was bringing up examples of what it's been like being a female in our circle, and she was just like, this dude doesn't even follow me. This dude just started like acknowledging my presence in the room like this, and we all been around each other for almost a decade. You know what I mean?
That's hilarious.
And that's just how we all roll.
Well,
What do I need to talk to your wife about?
Let's
Like,
go-
what do I need to talk?
let's go
Is she
further.
really funny? Is she like nice or something? Like she's only in this room because me and you are brothers. And that's really all that matters as far as we're concerned. You know what I mean? That is it. And the second something like that breaks, boom. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, because when it's time to link shields, it's going to be the guys at this table that are going to hold it down.
Right.
And that's how we roll.
Let's
and
talk
you guys can be friends if you want and all that stuff. That's great. I hope you have fun. Hope you like each other. We're brothers. That's it.
Let's talk about DMs.
Oh, don't.
No, wait. Because
Get in my DM, boy.
last week when we were here,
Yeah.
I made a comment about a certain individual, and he DM'd her again the other night. Yes. Don't say the name.
Okay.
That
And
late
I'm
night
like-
DM too? Like,
I'm
was it like at 12 o'clock?
The same person I'm thinking of?
Yes.
The one we were talking about?
Yes.
That he doesn't like?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
this orbiting?
And he's like, hey, I want to invite you to this. And it wasn't a generic, like, spam message. It was an individual message.
Of course it was.
No way.
And I'm like, he doesn't. But
No
see,
way,
But
no way.
wait. He doesn't know because he's going off her Instagram.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know that when I walk in here and see him, he doesn't know that I'm her boyfriend.
Right.
And I know that.
Yeah.
And I see his stuff because I see her shit. She's like, babe, will you? She asked me to help her. I'm like, I don't want to go on your IG. She's like, no. I see a message again.
Yeah.
And it's like, this motherfucker's relentless.
Right.
Because what happens is for a guy like that, he is not used to a woman blowing him off.
Right.
So he keeps going for what he can't have.
But I'm not defending him. I'm really not.
No.
But I don't think it's. I do think it is on his business.
It is
getting people to go to events.
It is. But he
like,
continuously, and it's like she'll like I just delete the message.
Right.
What do I say? Delete it. She keeps deleting. It keeps going.
So is there like some kind of social pressure that stops her from shutting him down if he's coming back?
that- I would do that.
Well, that's
'cause I
the,
think if
that's
you
the
just
part where you and I had a conversation. I'm like,
Right,
why don't
right.
you
just said,
tell her-
hey, like,
Right.
I got a guy. And I just go to
Yeah.
these
Well,
kind
at
of
first,
events.
she's like, "Oh, this looks pretty interesting. Let me check it out." I was like, "Nah,
No.
no."
Yeah.
And with all due respect.
Yeah, they're on cheesy highway. All those events for sure.
But there's other individuals. It's like
I'd have been like, how interesting, babe? Why don't you talk to me about
Well,
it?
you know what it is?
what is it
how
that you found interesting?
No, it's the
White light.
it's not the direct DMs. It's the indirect DMs to the story. Right.
Yeah.
So when you like
Those
the
are the
story,
passive gentleman ones, like,
Him and I
liked
get that from some of the same dudes that do that to our chicks. Like it's the same
constantly.
dudes.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and I said,
and then him and I have to have a
Well, because they're
conversation with each
checking
other.
in to see if they're good with you after they take a shot at your chick. That's what they're doing.
well, they don't,
And they don't know that
and
we're
like I
aware.
said,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't
I
look
think
at
these
Vanessa
guys-
stuff, but like if Vanessa gets an award because for Wet Republic is one of the best girls there,
Yeah.
and there's a photo of her and she puts on a story, it's like I'll like it
Right.
just out of
Sure,
cool,
sure.
congratulations.
Yeah, right.
But
I'm not
supporting
going
the
to her
tribe,
stories
yeah.
like
Right.
heart and everything.
Right.
I get to say every time she posts the same guys like the stories.
Right.
And here's the funny thing: we know them. They just don't know that I see them.
Right.
Or they don't know
I,
that.
I literally had to tighten a guy up on this over the before I came here. Like I literally had to be like, and this is exactly how it went down. And it started happening. He started DMing. He's not in the circle, but he's like around.
Does he know? He knows it's your wife.
Yeah, he definitely knows it's my wife. And there was like wows in there and like little comments and stuff. And like, but then like kind of the wolf in sheep's clothing approach. You know what I mean? And then I was kind of like, okay, cool.
Wow.
My chick's
Wait,
been-
wow?
Yeah.
That's the first step right there.
Yeah, wow. Like, anyway, so my girl knows already that, like, I'm a man, right? Which means in today's society, I'm crazy, right? So I'm like, so I'm, you know what I'm saying? Boom. So I come up in and she's like, you already know she got to tell me and the whole thing. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to talk to him. Now, I'm going to bring standards to the table and I'm actually not going to be. I'm going to give him a chance. I'm going to give him a chance to restore him because he's in my social environment.
Yeah,
he's in my environment. So I just brought it up to him and I was like, hey, check it out. I grabbed him. I grabbed another dude, pulled him outside. We're at a little gathering that I had to be at because he's in that social setting. And I was like, hey, bro, like, I don't know how, you roll with your relationship because he's married too. I was like, but I'm old school. Like, I'm way old school. So, popping up in my wife's DMs and things like that is just, for me personally, is absolutely unacceptable. Like, if you need something from me, my household, anything like that, you got to hit me directly. Men talk to men.
But did you call him out in front of the other guy too?
No, that's what he did, just
I
in
pulled
case it
another
escalated.
guy. Yeah, I pulled other guy there that we both know to see and witness everything. Because what ends up happening in these environments when I have
Fight.
to do this, because I've done this multiple times, is they can be like, Byron was mean because he's big and black and he has tattoos and he was bullying someone and he's overprotective and like they'll try to
the voice.
Yeah.
And he stole my nap.
I don't care at all, right? But they'll try to like character assassinate you on the back end. Cowards are dangerous. They're just dangerous in a different way.
They are.
So I brought someone else out, so there was someone else watching also, so they would know about his character as well. And I was just like, yo, this is what I'm seeing. And I was like, I don't know how you and your wife roll. For me and mine, this is just unacceptable. You know what I mean? I've never shown you my standard before, but if we're ever going to have a relationship, you've got to respect my boundaries.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, I don't know where this thing's going to go. And I called him out, and then we shook hands, and I was like, all right, thank you. That's it. Boom. And then we were cool the rest of the night, and everything was good. I'll never trust the guy. Right. But I like...
Because he's known that that's your wife.
He's known the whole time, and maybe it was innocent. Maybe it was, you know. But I'll say this. Time tells the truth. Time. So like,
maybe I
if
just
nothing happens,
too much.
like,
I just assume like with you it's innocent because, or with him as it relates to your wife is innocent because I mean, dude,
but still, you don't do that.
You don't do that. That would
but like you throwing out like wow,
that would be
telling her
like
she looks good and stuff in the DMs. You want to give my wife a compliment?
Yeah, but I wouldn't do Stacey. I wouldn't say wow, you look great.
No, you and I would like lose.
There's a chance we could have a certain level of relationship, but that's like years of proving to me.
Like here's the farthest I like. Stacey recently, Sean's girl had some challenges, right?
Yeah.
Medically, right?
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, she got COVID. She kicked her ass.
And then she's in the gym, and she's like, oh, I don't feel like it. And I said, no, you look like you came back. You look fine. You look great. I was helping her mentally, but I'm not like, oh, your ass is better. Your boobs look good. But also, I don't like her. I don't DM her shit.
Right.
Like, I don't DM her. I don't even look at her stories. I don't want to look at her stories. But you know, Iris is connected to her, and she'll look at her stories and stuff like that. Oh, did you see what Stacey? Did you see her workout? I'm like, no, I don't look at her workouts.
Well, and that's the thing, like, because you know, it would be weird. Like the only time I've even DM'd his girl is if I'm like, hey, I can't get a hold of Dad. Can you tell him to look at his phone?
Right.
Oh, he's in Metro County.
That's funny,
right? But
exactly.
I mean, that code is crazy because like even when guys know that she's got a guy, they'll still try to slide into her DM.
No.
And I don't know them on a personal level, but they know that she's in one, and I'm like, I sometimes ask, like, are you that naive?
Yeah.
To actually think that they're just waiting for you to say, I'm not with them anymore.
Yeah.
But also
No, because the rules of the game go, don't check the player, check the female, because it really comes down to, yo, if he's doing this more than once, why is he doing this more
One
than
guy,
once? That's where my conversation
But-
with my unit goes to.
Right.
Like, hey, why is this happening more than once? What made him think he could get away with this?
Right.
Like, is he just this
Well, here's the
brazen?
crazy thing.
Because a lot of guys are just this aggressive.
Here's the thing.
Right.
Do they
Like-
like the fact that guys think that your chick is not going to show you messages from some fucking stranger guy?
I think a lot of chicks don't. I think a lot of these guys get played like this, man.
They do.
Unless they're on the out. And this, I'm going to say this before we got to go. Attractive women are never single. They always
Ever.
have something else. When they get out of a
Layers.
relationship, they always
Something's
got somebody combat ready.
100%.
You're right.
It's real.
You're right.
That's 100% real, man.
Before we do, I feel like we're coming up on time, but
Yeah, he did.
the real quick, the video you posted about that kid that got bullied,
George.
First thing that pops into my head is I see him at the urinal, and I think we talked about this. That's why I go to the stall. So as you're exposed, I know he's got special needs and stuff.
Yeah,
so
no,
I mean,
he's awesome.
It's
They're
a
trying to help
terrible
him,
thing.
too.
Yeah, I like. So are you in touch with him?
No.
Personally, or because I'd love to I could probably get him like tickets to a fight or something. Get him out here to Vegas,
that's
comp his
would be
room or
awesome.
something like maybe.
So I saw
what
that.
can we do?
Yeah, I know, right? I saw that video. It touched me. I hate the bullying thing. I think any alpha protector type hates that, right? So I just was doing my part and just spreading it all on my network. But the people who originally posted it have a link in their profile where they're trying to get him help. Because he was saying some things about suicide.
I'm gonna.
Where does he live?
Sean.
Do you know what city?
I'm not sure. I can pull up the post.
I'm gonna share a story on this.
The Gracies are also really good about getting free training and like at a Gracie gym near him.
Yeah.
And we have a connection to them, so maybe we
Awesome.
could help him. I mean, I don't know what the solution is with that.
Yeah,
if
but
you
that
do
can
but
empower him. You know?
give him
Because he
more
was getting
confidence
jumped by
and-
multiple kids.
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
it's
like
just
3, 4, or
terrible.
5 kids.
It's
Like,
terrible.
you know the thing is, like,
Yeah.
I'll admit this.
huge.
There was once upon a time where, like, in my 6th or 7th grade, I just got into 7th grade. My parents just got divorced.
Yeah.
My violence is at an all-time high at 7th grade because I watched my parents start getting divorced, and I'm in the heat of their battle. And so, like, I decided to start being a fucking piece of shit, and I started picking on some fat kid.
Yeah.
And I used to beat up on him all the time on the bus when we got off the bus, mostly on the bus. And then fast forward like 2-3 months. Mind you, like before that, I was like, man, bullying is so bullshit. It's so fucked up. And then here I'm doing it. And I didn't catch myself. Fast forward a few months. We're about a quarter away into the year in 7th grade. I guess I'm one of the first people on the bus to leave school to head home. So I always usually try to sit in the very back. And the kid that I usually pick on, he was late. He was late and he was last because he was stuck in class. So he got to the bus. He was stuck in the front of the bus. Gets in the front of the bus and everybody starts picking on him, starts talking shit to him, starts beating up on him, starts like pulling his hair, starts like slapping him. And I'm just sitting there like, and imagine like this being a movie and it's like everything just shuts off and this laser just, this tunnel vision. Focus. And I'm like, oh my God, that's what I'm fucking doing to this kid. I'm getting goosebumps. Yeah. That's what I'm doing to this kid. Like, that's what I was doing. Like, this is me. And then I was like, this is not acceptable. And right away, like, I actually let the switch turn on. And I fucking bolted to the front, kicked 2 kids' asses, sat with the kid, and I'm like, bro, sorry, man. I'm sorry, man.
It's awesome.
I will never.
Yeah.
And forever.
You probably changed that kid's life.
And I will
for life.
Well, we became best friends. I was like, I will forever protect you. As long as we were in school together, I got you all the way. I will never let anybody touch you again, and I'm sorry for ever putting my hands on you.
That's great.
That's awesome, dude.
But it was
That's
crazy.
Great that you'll admit that story.
The fact that dude, I'm telling you, like when I internally, I started crying.
Yeah.
Because I felt like such a piece of crap. Right. I was like, man, I took my own problems and I started to beat up somebody else because of my own bullshit issues, because of my family problems. Yeah. And I'm going to let someone else get fucked up. And now that I see what I look like there's no way I'm going to let that ever happen again.
And that's why most of them do it, right? The bullies, because of their home. But it's not an excuse, but it's like, how does it ever end? Because
it's the home stuff. It's identity. It's like putting someone else down to make yourself feel cooler, feel better. It's all that stuff. And I mean, honestly, man, I think I'm just going to make sure my kids are equipped psychologically, mentally, and physically to deal with all the idiots they're gonna have to deal with in life.
Well, the thing is, you got to teach your kids how to take every learning experience,
everything.
And here's the thing, like for me, like, and we're gonna wrap it up here in a second. Like, I believe one of the things that make me great at what I do is because, look, like, I went through 10 years of child abuse, 10 years of drug addiction, 20 years of fucking depression, and then attempted suicide, and then I walked out alive. And I'm now doing pretty decent for myself. I've taken all those experiences and I've worked on them and learned from them and dissected them and replayed a video of the whole thing multiple times and still to this day so I can continue to learn and evolve and become better. And I basically bring those experiences into real life so that I can help other people out. And that's one of the things that really bothers me about individuals is they try to bring experience. You can only bring to the table what you've experienced and what you've worked through, not what you're still in the motion of processing. Because if you're still processing, how are you going to help people out? How are you going to try to pretentiously influence someone when you're still working on that? Because now you're giving people a fraudulent perspective and you're biased, which means you're actually more than likely going to lead someone down the wrong direction, down the hole of failure, and maybe even set them up for something really bad and really tragic. Like, you can't pretend like you can lead somebody because all of a sudden you want to feel better about yourself by inspiring someone when you're in the process of working through some fucking tragic shit.
Kind of like when you see on Instagram, sorry, Byron, when you see on Instagram, like 24-year-old guy on Instagram, motivational speaker, life coach, he's 24, and you're like, come on, man.
What have you done yet, man?
The fuck are you coaching?
Snake oil salesman.
Yeah, man. And kind of on that, it kind of comes back to what we were talking about. And on that, too, I started doing a little bit of that back in the day. The cool thing is the tools that I knew worked then, I was able to work them out, and that's what got me to where I'm at. But I was that guy at a certain point.
But the other it's different because you serve. It's different. It's different. Your 22 was different.
That's very true.
Byron, we are equipped with an arsenal of information, and we are responsible to share that information on how to help people get to the next place.
And it's experience.
And your place is how to be more protective, how to look out for your family, how to do their jobs better. And my place is how to help people get out of certain situations, mentally, emotionally, life-wise. We are responsible for that. We have a calling and a duty that we have to consciously appeal to.
And you said it like at the beginning, like one of us was like, you were like, we've all had our fights in different ways, in different battles. And then someone else was like, but it's all about, what we do about these things. And then someone else was like, it's all about how these things make us stronger and make us better. And that, honestly, like what you just said, man, like you bring all of that to bear when you're helping someone, when you're helping someone find the way. We bring all that to bear in our situations. And those were our Phoenix moments. And now, man, you got we have these powers to like really reach people.
And just the thing is, like, just because you're doing fantastic after a year doesn't mean you're in a position to lead and give example and give advice. Like you got like fucking, you're gonna try to compare and compete with someone that's got it for 16 years, and then you want to call yourself some influential fucking.
Yeah, it's crazy. One last question: is it too soon to start talking about part 3?
No, but let's do it.
This was good, man.
This one was fun.
I didn't even
got a
plan
little bit
on
more
talking
fun
about some of the stuff.
We should do a deep dive on executive protection at some point.
Vanessa, Stacy, Iris on here with us.
That'd be interesting, actually.
Because you think there's not a single man listening to this mic right now that's not dealing with the stuff we're talking about right now.
Oh,
yeah, for sure.
Every guy that's in the game that has a female right now that's, I always say, man, females have one of the most valuable and sought after and powerful natural resources between their legs, whether they like it or not. Tell all my sisters it. Don't ever think, like, if you see a guy walking around with a briefcase with $1 million, like, the people around him aren't just being nice because they like who he is.
Here's the thing. Like, don't take offense or have a problem with the fact that your man wants to be overprotective in those kind of circumstances. Because here's the thing, it's a problem if your man's not willing to protect.
That's when you really need to worry. Yeah, that's
wars
true.
and kingdoms have fell.
Oh my God,
because of women.
100%.
Religion, women, and money. Right.
Yeah,
that's what the whole world revolves around. That.
If you're a man, you're dealing with this stuff, man. There's some good advice that we're kicking around out here, man. The code. I want to bring the code back.
We're talk about that
stuff.
John,
code the code.
Yeah,
John,
man.
You close it out for us. What do you have to say to the audience? Like, today's fucking awesome.
Man, I know, it's so good. I mean, first of all, follow all of these guys on social media. Follow Impactpreneurs. Well, yours, you have the separate.
I'm gonna create the Impactpreneur.
Okay, yeah, but Sean, well, you put the things up there, George. Yep, for everybody, for Byron, for Daverick, and George Carmona on the decks, ladies and gentlemen. George Carmona. This was fun, man. I mean, it's really fun. Like, I almost think this should be monthly. Like,
no.
Okay,
we need to have.
Are you here monthly? Are you here monthly?
Hey, I don't know if this makes sense. Okay. I'm just gonna throw this out there. Maybe like the next time Byron's in town, the four of us, we go to a cigar lounge and just actually have it recorded, and we just kick back.
Dude, I love it.
Mic up, man.
Yeah, George is in. Well, the camera guy's in.
It'd have to be. In a cigar lounge where the music isn't so loud.
Yeah, or you know what we could do? We could go to like a place like Piero's. Have you been to Piero's yet?
No. I've heard of the old Piero's.
Yes, let's go to Piero's.
Italian?
Okay, I'll get us all set up. So it's the Italian restaurant. Cool. We also have Casino.
It's old mob Italian restaurant.
Yeah, really? You saw the movie Casino, right?
Yeah.
So the movie where Joe Pesci's at the bar in Casino, he's at the bar and he stabs the guy in the pen. Piero's.
Outstanding.
All right, we do dinner at Piero's and we video the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
All right, done.
Game.
Guys, this was fun.
This was outstanding.
Thank you, man.
Boom.
Byron, thanks for making it back over here again. Guys, I hope you truly, truly, truly enjoyed this episode. If you didn't see part 1, fucking turn this shit off and go watch part 1 right away. And pay the fee. The fee is, if you enjoyed what you saw, if you got entertainment, if you got value, if you think somebody can benefit from it, please, please, please share it. We're new on the grid in this space of podcasting.
Hit the bell for notifications. Ding.
Subscribe.
George, can you add that? Ding.
And thanks again, guys. Hope you have a strong week.
Boom.